A new poll from Axios and Morning Consult shows respondents ranked AI and tech regulation as among their last priorities when it comes to government policy, which could affect the timeline of congressional legislation on both. Joining us right now to talk about this and much more is Bradley Tusk, the CEO of Tusk Ventures. He's also a new author as of this week. His satirical novel, Obvious in Hindsight, is out in independent bookstores right now. And Bradley, congratulations on the book.
Thanks so much.
We will get to that, but let's start with AI and where things stand. Okay, so 11 out of 15, it doesn't rank all that high on voters' minds with things, but it is a lot higher in industry and in government when you start thinking through what the implications are.
Well, definitely in industry, because ultimately, we kind of look at AI as a standalone thing, but the reality is it's just going forward for any new company, for all of my portfolio companies. It's a component of what they do, right? It's an underlying tool. And if I have a portfolio company not using AI, I want to know, why isn't this a more efficient way to do something? And so it's more embedded in all of our life as opposed to being this one specific thing. But it's also easy to understand why people don't necessarily sort of see it as big of a threat, because it isn't real to them. It's not, other than going on ChatGPT and searching, who's better, LeBron or Jordan or whatever it is, it's still very kind of intangible to them. And there are real
wonky, and it's
on the poll, what are people worried about? Jobs, they're worried about their safety, they're worried about foreign wars, they're worried about their kids' schools. Those are real things that affect their lives. AI will ultimately have an impact on all of those things, but right now it's conceptual more than anything else.
So you look at your companies in your VC portfolio, and if they're not using it, you think they're behind the curve. But do you have worries about AI too? Yeah,
look, for sure. I think that AI is one of these things that has incredible potential for good and incredible potential for harm, right? You could think about AI from a digital health standpoint, and diseases that by the time we catch them, it's too late to do anything about them. We could arguably see that we have the gene for it, or just whatever is in our blood, 10, 15 years earlier, and people could live much better, healthier, longer lives. So there's some real incredible potential for it, but at the same time, both disruption to the workforce and then also just misinformation that it can be used for, it is a real risk. But I think also what's a little silly is, we see all these politicians out there talking about regulating AI. They haven't regulated Internet 2.0 yet, right? Section 230 is still alive and well. There's no data privacy laws nationally in the U.S. We still don't really know what our antitrust policies are. And so, yes, we have to deal with this, but it's a lot like politicians are just running for the newest talking point and the thing that'll get them talked about by you guys, and they haven't even done the work from 10 years ago.
Your satirical book, and by the way, you come at this not only from VC, but also from time in government, where you are looking at both sides of this, talks about flying cars and the race to get flying cars out there, and the evil CEO and her evil consultants, political consultants, who are trying to make this happen, and maybe a little bit of a bumbling government trying to deal with it on the other side.
Totally. So it's about a campaign to legalize flying cars in New York, L.A., and Austin. And on one side, like you said, is Flight Deck, the flying car startup, and their vicious political consultants. And on the other side is Uber, who now doesn't want competition, the Audubon Society, the socialists, the transit unions, and the Russian mob. And the book's a little absurdist, but it tries to show how these things really get done.
You understand this because you were one of the evil political consultants for Uber with trying to get all this stuff out there.
Yeah, I still do that for my fund all the time.
So what is the downside? You're living in this world, and you think these companies are manipulating? How do we draw real-life experiences?
I think what everyone on all sides need to understand, and what I'm hoping to get across to the readers, is politics in many ways is pretty simple, which is every policy output is the result of a political input. Every politician makes every decision solely based on re-election and nothing else. And if you could understand what's going to impact their next election, and if they believe that you have the ability to impact it, they will work with you. And if they think that you have no impact, you're irrelevant. And we might want our politicians or our tech CEOs or VCs to be better people, but we're not going to change human nature. But if we at least understand what motivates their decisions and why, you can do something about it.
I always kind of thought it was follow the money, and maybe that plays into your theory.
Well, they want to get reelected so that they
you need money.
Get some money.
Right.
Yeah, or I think even...
Why do they want to get reelected?
They want
to stay in power?
No, there's literally, I would argue, in the 30 years I've been working around politics and in politics, most of them have this hole in their psyche. And the only way to fill it, is they need constant validation, constant affirmation. And the best way to get that, especially if you don't have the ability to do what you guys do or to start a company or whatever else, is you run for office and then you're somebody, right? You have a title, you have a car, you have a special license plate. And
you might get a really nice car and maybe some cash in your pockets and some gold bars.
Depending on how aggressive you are, yeah.
Exactly.
But ultimately, the notion of giving that up for them is so horrific. That's why they're never going to put any policy issue on any side of the aisle, whatever else, ahead of their reelection.
Ken Langone has said for a long time, and I used to not pay as much attention. I think he may be right. He says term limits is the answer. Like, that's how you get better people in, because they're no longer worried about getting reelected.
Yeah, I think that's certainly one of them. Something that I've been trying to really push is mobile voting, because I think that one of the reasons that we have things that are so partisan and dysfunctional is it's such a pain to go vote that not that many people do it, right? So, like, we had the New York City Council elections last night. I don't know what turnout was yet, but in the primaries in June, it was 6.5%. So in the most important city in the world, a couple thousand people in each district are deciding who the city council members are. Right. I would argue that if people could vote on their phones, and that's how we legalized Uber. We got millions of our customers to advocate for us politically through their phones, then turnout goes up, and what happens? It moves to the middle. Right now, who votes? The people on the furthest left, the people on the furthest right. So either we have the dysfunction of Washington or completely one-sided government, whether it's crazy left-wing policies out of San Francisco or crazy right-wing policies out of the state of Texas. And if we just want moderation so we can get things done, you got to radically increase primary turnout. The only way to do that is to let people vote on their phones.
I voted yesterday, a couple of times. No.
What's the pushback on that? Who says no to that?
Well, it's interesting. So the people on the face of it are sort of cybersecurity experts. So no, it's not safe. We can't do it. I've spent the last 3 years out of my foundation building our own mobile voting technology, which we're going to release in Q1. It's going to be open source and free. Anyone can have it. Anyone can use it. End-to-end encrypted, end-to-end verified, air-gapped in multiple places. I would argue the most secure voting technology ever built. But the people who really aren't going to want it are the politicians, the people in power, right? Ironically, this will unite the two parties, because if you have power today, you don't want to lose power. And whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a union, a lobbyist, a trade group, if you know how to win elections in low turnout primaries, you have no interest in really changing that. And so it's going to require overcoming the entire system. So it's about building a movement, which I'm not sure I know how to do yet, but that's once we finish the tech, that's the next stage.